Hey there, Cheesemeisters, and welcome back to the Peach Pod After Dark. I am Jeff, and seeing as how the VP is such a VIP, don't you think we should keep the PC on the QT? Because if it leaks to the VC, he could end up MIA, and then we'd all be put out on KP. And joining me on the other end of the internet, my cuz-host.
I'm Leslie, and I drink so I can be this funny.
Good work. That I did not have to look that up. My quote. Oh no, I use that shit at work all the time. We speak an acronym at work so fucking much. And if someone just throws too many acronyms out, I'll just go full on with seeing as how the VP is such a VIP. Don't you think we should keep the PC on the QT because it leaks to the VC? He could end up MIA and then we'll all be put out on KP. I've been
Wow.
saying that shit since 1987. So,
Wow.
yeah.
And
Um,
everyone probably has already left the room by the time you finish.
no, nobody leaves the room when I'm talking. I'm EF Hutton or whatever. When I talk, people listen. Um, this week, Cheesemeisters, we are talking about Good Morning Vietnam.
Hey.
The 1987, the Vietnam War was hilarious until it wasn't. Masterpiece. Directed by Barry Levinson. Written by I wrote Mark Markowitz, and I don't think that's right. Is it?
No, I don't think it is either.
Oh, it's Mitch Markowitz. Written by Mitch Markowitz and Adrian Cronauer, who today I learned was a real person.
Oh my god, me too!
Yeah, no fucking idea until just this moment. So, this movie stars Robin Williams, Forrest Whitaker, Tom Tran, Chintara Sukapatana. We're doing our best with pronouncing her name, everybody.
Yes.
Bruno Kirby, whose name I know how to pronounce. Robert Wall, J.T. Walsh, and Noble Willingham. We are watching this in conjunction with Season 4, Episode 4, Greek to me. And our spelling connection is Noble Willingham. He was in an episode of Heart to Heart. He's the General Taylor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the one who thinks Adrian's so funny and won't fire him. All right, so you've never seen this movie before.
No.
This was one of those free Showtime weekend movies for me. So we had it on tape, and I saw it a shit ton when I was a kid. So like all the jokes in this I have memorized. Just all of it. But I haven't watched it in a long time. So first time seeing this movie, what did you think?
I liked it.
Yeah?
Yeah, this is going to sound very weird to say, but it didn't go as depressing a route as I thought it was going to go, and it totally could have. It's still heavy. It's still an awful thing that happened. But I was kind of surprised they didn't go further.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I liked it. I'm just going to leave it at that. We'll digress more.
No, for sure. Okay, so was this movie more funny or more dramatic for you?
Again, this is going to feel unsettling to say. It was more funny. Like,
Okay.
I mean, the Robin Williams of it all is, I mean, when it is him, it's just him, and
Mm-hmm.
it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Even as it's getting further into the film and it's getting heavy, like they still, I mean, he has that moment when he's talking to the whole, like the various jeeps full of
Mm-hmm.
soldiers, and you get a moment of forgetting, just like they did, forgetting that where they are,
Yeah.
and then they leave.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know. I think they did a good job with balancing the levity because it's 87. It would have still been too soon for them to go as heavy as they would have wanted to and could have gone.
I don't know. Platoon came out the same year.
Oh, see, limited experience here. I don't know. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, Platoon and Casualties of War were both around the same time.
it would shock you. It upsets me how little I know about this war. I mean, I've talked about just how US history teachers failed me. I'm blaming all of them at this point.
Do
Like,
it.
I think one middle school teacher tapped into this, which I'm like, middle school? Really? Okay.
Mhm.
Um, never again. I'm doing my best on my own, people, but like I
Sure.
didn't get to it. They don't have a MASH set in Vietnam because I think all of those characters would have killed themselves if they'd had to go back over.
Well, I mean, MASH was about Vietnam. I mean, it was set in Korea.
Well, that's
It was about
true.
Vietnam. So yeah, um, I don't think you have to feel bad that you thought this was that like that you were thought of this movie as funny because that's I thought of this movie primarily as funny too. Um, not now, but when I watched it as a kid, it was all about the Robin Williams energy. It was
Yeah.
all about the time to rocket from the Delta to the DMZ. You know, Viva Da Nang, Viva Da Nang, Da Nang me,
Oh my god, it's
the
early.
rope and hang me. Yeah, I mean, I just like all of that ad lib stuff, all the Robin Williams of it all, um, landed hard for me as like a 11, 12-year old, you know, when I saw this. Probably shouldn't have seen it. Pretty, you know, it's a rated R movie. But also like whatever.
Because of all the fucks dropped.
Yeah, I mean it's language. And also there's, you know, violence and people dying and explosions and shit. Like that's pretty rough. Um, you know, there's naked little boys dancing in the shower
I
for like
clocked that.
for like 30 seconds longer than was needed. Like
I know.
they hung on that shot of those three little boys dancing around naked, playing karate chops or whatever they were doing in the shower.
I'm
Um,
just gonna jump to it. That kind of shot is so unnecessary, and you're doing more harm than there's no good to be gained from that shot. You're making this village look primitive. You're making them, yeah, and you're also taking advantage of the fact that they're babies and they couldn't possibly care about boundaries, or the fact that years from now people will still be seeing their penis. Like,
mhm.
have we learned nothing from the Nirvana cover?
Well,
Of
this
course,
predates that, but
I know it does. I know, Jeff. I'm still gonna yell about it.
okay, all right. I mean, so this I'm finding it a little bit hard to wrap my head and my mouth around this movie. Not in that way, gross. Um,
I didn't go there.
no, but so much of this movie is about the otherness of being in Vietnam and the people and how they're different and how the culture is different and how like their broken English is hilarious and you know and it all of the jokes almost across the board aside from just the energy, you know, which is like very much there, it's all about him doing voices of characters that are just broad, like sweeping stereotypes. Roosevelt Lee Roosevelt. I'm here in Poontang. Like, and you know the if you're going to fight, clash. It's all just. But that's Robin Williams. Like that's his energy. That
Yeah.
and all that shit. Big Shock ad libbed. Like
Yeah.
I mean, you can feel it. Yes. Oh, hey. No. It's all energy, but it's energy and because he's trying to make people laugh who don't speak his language, he's doing caricature. He's playing broad, you know? And like, and there's like, you could look at that and go, I don't know if that really works. Like, I don't know if Jimmy Wah is like here. I don't know if the joke of Jimmy Wah is that he's Vietnamese or that he's gay.
Yeah.
But here's the thing about like so like you could go down that path with this movie, but I don't want to because I don't think it's all that interesting. First of all, but it does give me conflict. But like I don't think it's prohibitive because I don't think it's the point. I like the point isn't like the point in any movie where someone teaches a English as a second language class is isn't it hilarious when we make them say things they don't understand?
Yeah.
It's I mean they do it in Stripes, they do it here. It's it's a simple joke, but they do it. But like the English classes, the people in the English class are funny because of the characters that they are. Like the little lady is so sweet, and then when like at the end when she runs and she just keeps running, like it's just so damn cute. It's like there she goes. And like the guy who wants to play softball,
I'm waiting to die.
yes, yeah,
Lo- Loved him.
yeah. And then the guy in the back of the room who shouts all of the things after everyone's done, like that guy, I 100% was also ad libbing.
It
Like,
felt like a more collaborative environment.
yeah, but like the thing for me is that it's 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 broad in like the big like the energy of it is broad, but Jimmy Wah is hysterically funny because he's specific.
Hmm.
Like the thing where he calls everybody Earl is funny. It just is. Like what? Nobody like that is a very specific character trait.
Hmm.
It's not all Vietnamese gay men call everyone Earl. No, that's not what it is. It's this guy has a GI bar so that he can flirt with the soldiers, calls everyone Earl, and not for nothing is real hung up on Yul Brenner. Like Yul
Brenner.
Brenner, yeah. Like that's very specific. Like, and
I
it's funny.
I missed the humor on Jimmy. I don't know. So see, that was a character where it didn't land for me. I was like,
Uh-huh.
"Ooh, I feel like you're playing into a not the actor. I think the character is written to play into some caricature for
Of course.
protection. For protection. And so again, I think you know whether or not it worked on me, I'm not going to say whether or not it did. It's just that's the reading I took from it.
Sure. And
You
it's
know,
totally fine. Like, but Jimmy, I found that Jimmy worked Hong Kong, home of the shiny green suit is funny. Like, what? No one has ever said Hong Kong is the home of the shiny green suit except for Jimmy. Um, so like, I think the specificity of the different characters, like, it overrides it tilts the scale for me, like away from like that this movie is just like making fun of people because they're different,
yeah.
because it's not really doing that. I mean, the heart of the humor is the differences in the cultures and the people and stuff, but there's enough specificity in each of the characters that that it doesn't feel like they're just going, look at them funny Vietnamese and how funny they are with the way they talk, you
I
know.
also, and granted, neither of us ever knew him. We have no way of knowing, but you know how sometimes you get a certain feeling about we all get this feeling about celebrities. We think we know them. But like I never got the feeling that Robin Williams was ever doing comedy to hurt people,
No,
you
I
know?
agree. I agree. No, he seems like an open beating heart, you know. Um so let me ask you this. Oh, before I'm going to ask you about Robin Williams, but we should tell people that this movie is about Robin Williams playing Airman Adrian Cronauer, who is transferred to Saigon to be the morning DJ, and he is loud and funny and plays rock and roll. And but the commander of the radio station, JT Walsh, and his underling, um, who thinks he's funny, um, Bruno Kirby, uh, would rather listen to Lawrence Welk and possibly have the Keystone Cops on the radio. It's hard to say. Um, but the general thinks he's hilarious, and the men like him, and he, there's some conflict there, and he gets thrown off the air um, because a bomb goes off at Jimmy Waz, the bar, and the bar that they all go to, and he wanted to read the story on the air, and the two twins who are awesome, um, who are the standards and practices guys, um, tell him he's not able to, and then he does it anyway. And after the explosion, the movie becomes a very heavy drama, where he's struggling with being in Vietnam, and he also teaches English to Vietnamese people because he saw a hot woman and followed her down the street.
Yeah.
Um, and he's right; she's very attractive. Um, but that relationship is an interesting one, and I'm sure we'll talk about it.
Oh, yes.
And she has a brother who he becomes friends with. But spoilers, it turns out the brother is VC, and he's the one who did the bombing. And and it's just it. And eventually, he's almost killed, but then the brother saves him. But because it turns out that like his best friend in Vietnam is the enemy, he gets kicked out and is shipped back home.
Yeah.
So that's what happened in this movie. But I want to ask you, because I think I know the answer. I've got it narrowed down to two, and I'm pretty sure I know what the answer is. How you were first introduced to Robin Williams. And here my first guess was Mrs. Doubtfire, but then I remembered Aladdin. So I'm thinking it's Aladdin. But tell me how you were first introduced to Robin Williams.
I think it's Aladdin. And then it was Mrs. Doubtfire. But the thing I love him for most to this day is Hook.
Interesting. Okay.
Peter Pan is my favorite childhood story.
Okay.
And yeah, I won't be able to talk about it much without getting misty-eyed. So
Interesting.
I love him in that. And that's not even one where he gets to like freewheel it. Like
Uh-huh.
he's more contained in that because it's the reverse, it's I don't need to explain Hook to people. If you haven't seen Hook, please do yourself a favor. Pause this, go watch Hook, then you can come back to this. It will have no bearing either way, but Hook is amazing.
I'm glad you like it. I saw Hook in the theaters and it didn't land for me. But I was also in high school, and I just, it for me, I met Robin Williams wearing rainbow suspenders and saying Anu. I watched Mork and Mindy. And I loved Mork and Mindy. Mork and Mindy was hilarious. Just talk about energy. But I got to know Robin Williams as a comedian and like a funny alien who slept in an egg and sat upside down on his chair. Shazbot. Loved Mork and Mindy. But I didn't, and then he did all the comic relief stuff in the early '80s with Whoopi Goldberg and Billy Crystal. So like he was a funny person, and then he started doing movies like this, where he's a funny person, but he's also really serious.
Yeah.
Like, and he goes on and does a bunch of stuff like that, where like he gets a little bit of rope to ad lib and go do his Robin Williams stuff, and then he comes back and plays the dramatic beats. Like he does this, and then obviously Dead Poets, which is like mostly it feels that's another one where the balance is so I don't know if that movie is funny or depressing. Like it's both,
It's
but which way
depressing.
it's more. I can't watch it. Like I watched it when I was in high school, loved it. I can't watch because of the way it ends. It's fucking heartbreaking for me.
No, brief segue. I first saw that when I was living back home and I would watch it in pieces because it kept being on before I would go substitute teach. Very weird thing to watch in the morning. And then I saw the end and was just destroyed. I am
Sure.
haunted by the end
Yeah.
of that movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, I probably also won't be rewatching it, which I think is kind of unfortunate because there's probably some good messages in there to be had, but no, I'm
I mean,
good.
I have seen it a number of times, but like I think 1989 might have seen it in the theater, might not. Don't.
Oh,
1989 was a good movie summer. Um,
thank you.
yeah, well, it's
It's all because of me.
you did it, yeah.
I
Um,
did.
like that's when Batman came out and Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade and
Mm.
this like Dead Poets, not this, but Dead Poets. Like 89 had some good shit, but I liked it and I thought it was like all of the classroom stuff is funny and I still talk about J. Evans Pritchett and the scale for rating
Oh,
poetry. Um, and you know, like whenever I see that guy, I call him Nuwanda. Like whatever he's in, he's just Nuwanda. Um, and I'm kind of ride or die for Ethan Hawke, like really
well,
like
yeah.
Ethan Hawke. Um, so, but you know, he does those heavy things, and then he does Awakenings, which I don't know if you've seen, but it's again very heavy. It's based on Flowers for Algernon. Are you familiar?
Oh God,
Yeah, so there you go. So that's what we're talking about.
I'm
Um,
good. Nope.
and then he does the Fisher King. Have you seen the Fisher King?
Not.
I fucking love the Fisher King, and it's Terry Gilliam, and so I don't know if you're how familiar you are with Terry Gilliam movies, but if you hear it's a Terry Gilliam movie, what you should immediately think is, well, this is gonna be fucking weird. Um, and it is. It's funny and it's sad and it's dark and it's really odd and like I really liked.
Sounds like I'd like it.
Yeah, I liked Fisher King quite a bit. And on the heels of that comes Hook. And I love the Fisher King, and I'm like, oh, this will be fun. Robin Williams play, and I was like, oh, Julia Roberts. Like, it just didn't. It didn't do much for me. Um,
Oh, that makes
but
me
then
sad.
I really liked him in Aladdin. Although I don't know that I care anymore. But that's it.
Yeah.
I think there's just I think we talked about it a little bit before, but I think there's something about the Robin Williams energy that I got over at some point.
Oh, not me.
Good. I'm glad
I
you're still living in the
I
place
want
where that
that.
hit
I
you.
want
Good.
that. Like I'm already destroyed. Destroy me and make me be that talented. Like
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Gotcha.
destroy
Yeah.
me with that much brilliance, please.
But like he had this interesting thing where he played this super over the top ad lib energy bomb and at in the same moment or like 2 moments later is playing um deep sincerity.
Yeah.
And that's why like that scene you were talking about around the trucks where he's doing his shtick for them. Um that kind of broke me this time. That was very sad because um because of how it's his face.
Yeah.
Like he's doing the Adrian Cronauer bit for all of these guys because he knows that they need it.
Yeah.
But he doesn't feel it. All he feels is sad. He's so sad by seeing the war hit so close and to not be able to talk about it on the air, to not be able to say what's really happening here. It all feels so false to him. And then yeah, I do too. But then he, you know, Forrest Whitaker, who's Garlic is his last name, which is such a weird last name, but okay. Um, like Garlic takes him and he pulls him in there and he makes him do it. Like he's forcing him to like get out of his own head, which is good for Cronauer. It, you know, he needed that, but all, and you can just see it on his face. all he sees while he's doing this, even though there's joy for him in making them laugh and getting their reaction, all you see in his face is these boys are going to die.
Yeah.
And he is destroyed by it.
Yeah.
It's too fucking much for him. And as such, it becomes too much for me. And that's because Robin Williams is so fucking good in this. But it is the weight of this war and the toll it takes on the soldiers and on the Vietnamese people who, I mean, that scene with him confronting Tran, is Tran his name?
It's Ton.
Ton is his name. Trin is her name. I was
Yeah.
together. The scene where he confronts Tuan after he finds out that he's responsible for these terrorist acts, and he's like, 2 men died, and Tuan's like, so fucking what?
Yeah.
My whole family has died.
Yeah.
This guy's died. That guy's died. Everyone here has died, and it's your fucking fault. So who cares if 2 of those people died? And you feel that.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. I'm on his side. Like, I'm not like, let's go bomb restaurants and shit. But
No.
like, but I get it.
Yeah.
Like, this is fucking horrible. And he goes in there and they beat him up.
Yeah.
You know, like, there's just the gravity of all of the stuff that happens in this movie after the bomb goes off. Works so well that it, as an adult now, overrides the humor for me. You know, and
that makes
also,
sense.
And also, I'm kind of over the energy a little bit. You know,
that makes sense.
I
kind of anticipated the drama would overtake the comedy for me. Somehow it didn't, but you know, it didn't take away from, like, there's a reason it is listed as a comedy and a drama. Like, it is both. Absolutely.
Oh, for sure.
And yeah, they could have gone further with the drama. I'm okay that they didn't, but I'm just saying, like, I think it's only because of it being 2025 is why I expected it to go further.
I think they properly pitched it. Yeah. Like, I think the balance is correct. Because the parts that are funny are funny. Yeah. Like, those are the parts that stuck with me. More dire need of a blowjob than any white man in history. Like, I've said that numerous times.
Of course you have.
Of course I have. Don't get me wrong, my father's a nice guy, but he's not funny either. Said that a number of times in my life about anyone who I don't find funny. You know, and my dad was funny. He was funny in a dad joke way, but my dad was funny. Yeah. And so, like, but I use that all the time. Oh, Frenchie. Oh, Lieutenant Steve. I love that shit. That's so, like, that bit at the radio on the mic is maybe the funniest part of the whole movie. When is being funny.
In my heart, I know I'm funny.
And it's so not the point. But it's the point for him. Yeah. Like, it's the point for him. And everyone around him is just like, no, you're not. No, Lieutenant Steve, you're not funny.
Oh my God.
Magically not funny.
I loved how honest they were being with him.
Yeah, I don't think anyone would see you fall down on the radio, sir.
All right, that was Petula Clark. Beach Boys, man.
Those were guys. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I love the funny parts of this, and I still enjoy them. And I still use them, you know. To this day, I still drop those lines, and people don't know what they are anymore the way they did, when I was saying them in the mid 90s when this movie was 10 years old or whatever. Um, there's a lot of people people I work with, I would put, I'm going to guess that 50% of the people that I work with have not seen this movie. That might be high, but I work with a mix of people who are older than me and my age, and then, considerably younger.
That's a fair number. I feel like this movie is probably underrated at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can't think of any time that someone's been like, "You haven't seen this?"
Right.
Or has quoted it, and I've been like, "Huh?" And they go, "It's Good Morning Vietnam." Like, the only reference I knew to it was, I think Dwight on one of the episodes of The Office he does a public speaking event, and he starts with "Good Morning Vietnam."
Of course. You have to.
And it's just dead silent.
Of course. Yeah. Because that only works if you're in this movie, really.
What does that mean? Good Morning Vietnam. Well, I think it means good morning.
Yeah.
In Vietnam.
Yeah. He sucks the sweat off a dead man's balls.
Oh my God.
I don't know.
Balls were great.
I don't know what that means, but it sounds pretty negative to me, sir. Yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting movie. And one that got Robin Williams nominated for an Oscar.
Yeah.
And comedies are not nominated for Oscars.
No.
Like, comedic performances are not. And there was I feel like the answer is no to this, but have you seen Roxanne?
Oh, no.
Okay. That's one, it's a Steve Martin movie. It's Cyrano de Bergerac.
Yeah.
And it's awesome. Like, I love Roxanne.
I've seen some of it.
Yeah. And it's one where people were like, after he did it, people were like, you were really good in this. You should have been nominated, And he's like, comedies are never nominated, like, unless they're about serious things like Good Morning Vietnam.
Yeah.
Like, then you can get a comedic, dramatic performance nominated,
which
for the Academy
Award.
Award.
Is so much harder.
Yeah.
There's a reason they say dying is easy, comedy's harder.
That's right. And
laughter is harder. Either way.
But you can't get nominated for making people laugh.
Well, we should change that. Among many other things that I plan to change about Hollywood. I'm coming in, steamrolling.
That's right. Fix it all.
I will.
Do it.
Yeah.
Everybody at the school board.
Yeah.
I know. Donna Martin's going to graduate. Calm the fuck down. I got it. Hashtag Brian Walsh.
Ew.
Tis the reason for the season. It's a spelling connection.
I know.
Do you want to have some adventures in intimacy?
Oh boy. Yeah. This movie was interesting because there's definitely some intimacy. We talked about there are 3 little boys just
dancing naked,
taking a shower. There's a soldier kissing on I don't know if she's a prostitute. I'm going to assume that she is, since she is allowed in this bar. Yeah.
I mean, he holds up the money and says, "Come here." Like, yeah. I'm pretty sure they were prostitutes.
Again, I don't want to assume, but I figured. So kissing on her, and then he was kissing on her arm, and then he was also like patting her thigh in a weird way. Like, again, no instruction was given. They were just like, act like you're hanging out with prostitutes.
Yeah.
What does that look like? No, I'm a man. I must know what to do. I can't admit I have no idea how to woo a woman anyway. That's how I imagine that went in that man's brain.
Maybe. Yeah. There's a lot of ad-libbing, including that stuff.
You brought up early on something about not wanting to go into... How was it exactly?
About, like, just the fact that the point of this movie is otherness? That part of it?
Maybe that part. And so what I'm about to bring up is a broad thing, like across all films. So I won't go too much in depth with it, but something I couldn't help but think about. I mean, when he's going out on the town with Forrest Whitaker, Garlic, and immediately starts, oh, look at her, like, oh, look at her again, oh, she's somehow ahead of us. And then
Right.
it's the same
She's
woman.
quick.
She's quick. And then later on, he's like, I see her again. And then goes into a full-on chase. I thought, when did this stop being cute? But then I thought about how Hollywood for so long, and I mean, there's going to be stuff nowadays that years from now we're like, oh, I don't know. But Hollywood is very good at making harassment look cute, and it's disturbing. And you know, there are levels to everything, and
Mhm.
everyone has a different set of scales. So people may watch this and be like, that's not harassment, whatever. And I'm like, okay, that's like your opinion, man.
Right.
It's wrong.
Far
Um,
out.
but you don't have to listen to me, but you should.
You should. Everybody should.
And yeah, so I was just thinking about that earlier. And again, that's something broader than this. I don't know how much more I can go into it than that, other than like, do you have anything like?
I mean, what I think is interesting in this movie, because I didn't quite remember it this way, because I was a kid, whatever, is I think that his relationship with Trin is interesting
Yeah,
because it's not your typical movie relationship where like he's chasing her like uh like a Looney Tunes dog,
yeah,
you know. And then he meets her or first meets Tuan, and he's like, this isn't gonna work. Like, you
yeah,
can't, you can't date her. That's not okay. That's not the way it works here. Um and so he's like, he inserts himself into the English class because he wants to meet her. But then the relationship change when he meets her, the relationship changes immediately
yeah,
to this very respectful relationship that he has with her, where he's like, I get it. I'm not even pursuing you. I just want to know you.
yeah,
And I will jump through all of the silly hoops just to spend time with you. Even
yeah,
if spending time with you means going to see Beach Blanket Brandon, with your entire family.
yeah.
Like, and he never once tries to kiss her. And
I love
it,
that.
yeah, so it's not a, like, it's not a standard Hollywood movie relationship, and it's definitely not a standard GI local woman relationship.
Yeah,
Those are way more those are much more frequently presented, like Full Metal Jacket with sucky sucky $5, me so horny.
oh
you know
god. And you have to commend him at least for, because while it starts out kind of looking like harassment, it, like you said, it does change. And you know something I would say too real quick, like, well, how do you make, not that they were I don't think they were worried about it looking like harassment at the time, but ways that you can disguise that, and make it harder for people to see it, is like, well, it's Robin Williams, he's funny, so
Mhm.
you add humor to the situation. It's much easier to get away with stuff, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Or fortunately, in the movie, you want people to like your protagonist. um but yeah, I mean, other things such as editing, music, like all of that contributes. And like, we're hearing sounds of the world around them, and it's not done in like a scary fashion. It's he's being a silly guy going after a woman.
Mhm.
But thankfully, again, we do have the unique story of he cares more about all of these relationships, It's
Hmm.
not just her. He genuinely wants to know her family,
Hmm.
her brother, like what these people are all going through, and like be part of their world. Um, there are two moments of touch that I want to compare because they both involve a similar thing. When is it Kronauer?
Yeah, Cronauer.
Kronauer. When he's um off with her family and they're having lunch or something, there's this moment. It's a quick thing. You'd miss it in a blink of an eye. But she's sitting next to, I would assume, a father or father figure, and he does this like brush back of her hair, and it felt like one of those touches that you give when words fail. Like
Mm.
like and again, we're dealing with different cultures here. So one, like intimacy is going to be very different. How they touch and don't touch each other, or how they get close to and don't get close to each other.
Hmm.
So there was that beautiful moment where the father's smoothing back his daughter's hair that just said so much in that instant. And then there's a moment later on where Kronauer tries to pat her head or like her hair, something kind, but she
Mm.
immediately moves away like, no, don't. Like,
Right, not appropriate.
well,
Yeah,
like one, not appropriate,
and
two,
I don't want you.
yeah, and I like, you're not going to come for me that way, please stop.
Mm.
um yeah, that was really good. Like, yeah, no notes, that was well done.
Yeah.
But I just, again, whether I don't think it was intentional, but it was cool that you had two different hair touch moments.
Mm.
Speaking of touch, of course, I was thinking about lack of touch or less touch due to culture or masculinity. And we sort of touched on the culture of it all, like with the averting from the hair thing. Um, the fact that, she brings her whole family to go on the date with him and to go out to the movies, like, okay, we can sit next to each other. Um,
I don't even think they sit next to each other in the movie.
oh, you may be right. You may be right.
I think they might sit near each other when they're eating and stuff, but yeah, at the only way he gets to like talk to her is by giving all of her family money to go shopping.
Yeah.
Just distracts them all.
But in terms of the lack of touch due to masculinity, okay, I have two things to note. In the very beginning, Forrest Whitaker is scrambling to get Kronauer out of bed, and
Yeah.
he's like really like pawing at him, picking him up, and everything, and like, and I don't know, I just found that interesting. It didn't feel natural. It felt, I don't know, kind of like acting class almost.
Hmm.
But
Interesting.
maybe that's part of the youthful energy that he's bringing,
Yeah.
because in the very end, when they're all saying goodbyes and they're parting ways, there's no hug. And I'm like, you two have bonded. This man is someone you have looked up to.
Yeah.
And like, you both bonded. You've been through something. And so I just found it very, I did at least appreciate that Robin Williams threw in this like this shoulder punch in a,
Yeah.
derisive manner, like, oh, and this is where I do this thing now because we can't hug. um
Right.
so I thought that was funny and well put.
Yeah.
um Speaking of goodbyes, I loved the goodbye handhold between Trin and Kronauer,
Mhm.
because it wasn't just that they took hands, but like he put his other hand on hers, and it
Mhm.
just, again, it spoke so much about like, I really care about you,
Yeah.
and I can't even begin to say it. Hopefully my hands can say it better than I can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, this is our second Forrest Whitaker movie. It occurs to me.
What was our first?
He hustles your boy, Fast Eddie Felson.
Oh yeah, I knew that. Oh, I totally forgot.
Yeah. Um, that was he had a pretty strong 86, 87. Like he was Color Money and Platoon in 86. Hands of a Stranger, which I don't know, Stakeout, which I think is a Richard Dreyfuss movie, um, and Good Morning Vietnam, all in '87.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. I've always liked Forrest Whitaker. He's
I
really,
do
really
too. I mean, I don't have strong feelings about him. I like him when I see him.
yeah. When I see him, I'm like, oh well, that guy's gonna be good.
Yeah.
Like whatever's going on in this movie, that guy's gonna be good. And you know, now he's in the Star Wars universe and all kinds of stuff like that. So
I know. I can't remember any of his lines, but I turned to Walter and I was like, see, I see him, and now I just think like,
yeah, Saul Guerrera.
so great.
Um, any more intimacies?
Let's see. No, there really wasn't a lot in this.
Yeah,
But I feel like what I did find definitely again brought up some interesting things to ponder.
yeah, I agree. All right, well, let's go. Let's rock it from the Delta to the DMZ and find Needle Drop Forest. Demilitarized zone. What is that? Oh, sounds like this. Oh, sounds like a thing that you would do over here. Sounds like something from the Wizard of Oz.
Yo.
Ho Chi Minh.
Yeah.
Follow the Ho Chi Minh Trail. Follow the Ho Chi Minh Trail. Um, music plays a really big role in this movie. Not only is it the source of much friction for the protagonist and the antagonist, which is the military and not the Viet Cong, although a little bit it's the Viet Cong. But the thing he's primarily fighting against is the strictures of the U.S. Army.
Yes.
And his immediate supervisors who don't think he's funny. But the music, I think, is deployed almost surgically in this movie, but surgically with a mallet. Like it's done on purpose, but it's big, and they use it to drive the energy of like all of those ad libs. That the whole radio scene is like, they're girls are frisky and old Frisco, like they're playing all this on like they're playing that music over the top of scenes of soldiers listening to the music and dancing and having a good time and like feeling good because the music is playing.
Yeah.
And then they'll dip it underneath his jokes and then they'll bring it back up. And he plays a bunch of great songs that really like push the mood. And then he plays What a Wonderful World.
Yep.
And he plays it over the top of scenes of the horrors of war. And it's hard to think about without crying.
Yeah.
Because of how well they used that song to counterpoint the horrors of the things you're seeing. It is dramatic irony at its greatest. And it's such a moment in the movie where because the first half of it is so energy filled and it's so much jokes and like we need a guy like this here because the men need that. But the movie has to turn. It has to go into the horrors of war, into the reality of this. And to use the music to make that turn and to finish it on that close profile shot of Robin Williams just going, oh yeah, like it grounds everything, and it kind of sets you up for the fact that everything from this point forward is going to be really kind of hard to deal with.
It really it horrified me, which
Did it?
I think it's supposed to. Yeah, I don't know when I realized it because I don't think it was the obvious like things are blowing up, but I was like, oh, this is about to be sick. Oh God.
Mhm.
And it was, and it should be. And you know, I think the lightest thing I can say about it is both things can exist. This world is horrifying and it's wonderful.
It's beautiful. Yes, that's the thing. And that's why it works so well, because uh Satchmo's right. Like, it's a wonderful world. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
There's trees and babies. Like, come on. You
There's
know,
there's dogs and cats and little pygmy goats in pajamas.
yeah, there's wonderful things in this world, and there's also the horrors that we bring upon it. And like, and showing you both of those things at the same time, in this case, works really, really well.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's heavy-handed, but here it's, I think this is like a microcosm of the whole movie, where it strikes, I think, the right balance. It's not too sappy, it's not too horrific, it's not too funny, it's not too sad. It's all of those things all the way through the movie. um even when you get to the end and he's being booted, like, that's when he drops the blowjob line, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what being white has to do with it, but it's funny.
He was
Like,
listen, he was he didn't know it, but there were about to be a lot of uh self-deprecating white jokes coming.
yeah, that's true. um so yeah, I think the music in this is used about as well as I've seen it used to enhance the story. I mean, and we've had some, I mean, we did Dazed and Confused. Like, the soundtrack of that is perfect.
Yeah.
And when we talked about Dazed and Confused, we talked about Guardians of the Galaxy and how great the music is in that, because of it. Like, it fits the vibe of the thing.
Yeah.
This is used. This is used to drive home story and emotion, and the horrors of war.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't know if you picked up on it or not, but this movie is not in favor of the Vietnam War. It is not. It's not like,
What?
it's subtle. You might not have picked up on it.
No, I
I
definitely
know.
did, and I'm,
I know. See,
sometimes
but that's,
Hollywood and I are in alignment.
yeah, I get that. Yeah, me too. I, it's hard to find a movie about Vietnam that is not deeply conflicted at its soul. Um, and it's hard to find a movie about World War II that's not like, man, didn't we do a good job here?
Oh my
Like,
God, I know. See, and I guess I just haven't watched enough Vietnam War movies because, you said that, and in my mind, I'm thinking, are there movies where they think it was a good idea?
not Vietnam, but
Well, that's what I meant. Like,
yeah, and like, there are some. I feel like the answer to all of these things is gonna be no for you. But, like, have you seen Apocalypse Now?
no.
Full Metal Jacket? Platoon? I mean, like, there are, until this one,
Very gendered upbringing. Very gendered upbringing. I missed
I
out on a
totally get it.
lot of.
I'm not full. I'm not gonna, like, have a full throat recommendation for each of those films, um,
Sure.
but they are. None of those movies are like, man, we did a good thing by going to Vietnam.
Okay.
Like, that's not what's happening in these movies. Um, so, and I Full Metal Jacket. I'm not even sure Full Metal Jacket's about Vietnam. Hold on, I gotta look it up.
Sure.
Oh yeah, it is, because they sucky $5. Um,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah. But that leads me to something that I wanted to bring up in what else. Um, it almost feels like it's the law that war movies have to be two different movies shoved together.
Yeah.
Like this movie, you've got like the funny part at the beginning and the depressing part at the end. Stripes follows exactly the same pattern, as does Full Metal Jacket. And all this movie is better once it makes the turn than either of those other two movies are once they make the turn. Stripes is fucking gold for the first 45 minutes, and the second 45 minutes when they introduce Czechoslovakia in a heavily armed recreational vehicle, that movie is bonkers weird. And it's terrible. It's not good.
You forgot your favorite war movie, Pearl Harbor. It's a completely different movie, and then Pearl Harbor happens.
Oh my god. Fucking
I'm not laughing at what happens. I'm not laughing at that. I'm laughing at Jeff's reaction to it. I just want to make that abundantly clear.
I just can't with Nursey and Fly Guy and Splashdown. No. You are. Oh my god, fucking Pearl Harbor. Oh. That movie hurts my heart. But it's weird to me that war movies have to be two different movies. I don't know why they have to do that, but they do it a lot.
It's like the Wishbone episode where he tells the story of Red Badge of Courage. It's two different stories. You know, one is, you know, what's happening in the real world, and then the other is a dog reenacting Red Badge of Courage. So, you know, you miss some things, but it's still it's got some heaviness to it. It's still a war episode.
Okay, because you answered my question. My question was gonna be, isn't that a cartoon about a dog?
It's not a cartoon. It's live action.
Not a cartoon. Oh, it's a live action dog television program.
It's amazing. Okay. It needs to come back. PBS, if anyone remotely related to PBS is listening, talk to me. I want to bring this show back.
Does the dog talk?
Yes, he talks.
Oh dear Lord. Look, with the exception of Mr. Ed, I don't need animals to talk in movies. Like, especially if it's a real animal and they like, why is that? I don't know why the dog's talking. Now, give me cartoon animals that talk all day long. Like, I'm good with the fox and the hound. Like, I love and again, look, we've talked. Yes, we have. We've talked about how great Robin Hood is when it's foxes and bears and shit.
Chickens.
Sir Hiss. Yeah. Yeah. Give me cartoon animals talking all day long. But if you're going to put a real animal in the movie and make it talk, unless it's Baxter, who is my little gentleman, I don't need Baxter. I don't need Baxter to talk. English, please. I don't speak Spanish.
But it's so good. It's so good, especially because he only talks to people when he's reenacting the books. In the real world, they don't hear him, but of course he's talking. He's always like, hello, give me snacks.
This sounds like an acid trip that was put on PBS.
Sometimes it's clear that they just put in random stuff the dog doing, like, because he'll start scratching and go, oh, excuse me a minute.
Wonderful. I didn't expect to talk about Wishbone today.
Oh, I love this show. Everyone do yourself a favor. After you watch Hook, go watch Wishbone.
Go watch Wishbone. Sure. You know what? Everybody go do that. I probably won't. Everybody go do that.
Be better than me about making your lives better. Watch the things that bring you joy.
Bring the joy. 100%. Is this anyone's defining role?
Unfortunately, the Vietnamese actors, or the Asian actors, it is.
Yeah, that's true. I'm not sure that it's anybody else's. Um,
I don't think so either.
like although like Bruno Kirby is so good in this. Um,
You mean Carrie
he's,
Fisher's husband and when Harry met Sally?
yeah, no, he's that's what I'm saying though. He's great in a lot of shit. You know, like he's in with When Harry Met Sally. He's in Godfather 2. Um, you know, he's in City Slickers.
Walter didn't believe me because I heard his voice and I went, wait a minute. I know that. That voice should be arguing about a wagon wheel table.
That's right. No one's ever quoted "Me to Me" before.
Facts.
Yep.
And yeah, he had to look it up before he believed me.
Okay. Yeah, Bruno Kirby's great. This is not JT Walsh's defining role. That guy's amazing in everything he's in.
Mm,
The colonel,
yeah.
not the general, but the colonel, who hates him, who's also in A Few Good Men. He's so fucking good in that. Is not Robin Williams' defining role. Being Robin Williams, I think, is his defining role.
Yeah.
You know, but he's also one of those people he's great in so many things that and not everything he did I like, but some of the stuff he did I fucking love. So, and we just recently watched The Birdcage, which is like as big as it gets. Like that's broad.
Martha Graham.
But on the inside. Yeah, that is although to be honest, that movie is stolen by Haggador Spartacus for me.
Interesting. He doesn't do it for me.
I do not wear the shoes because they make me fall down.
Like it's Robin and Nathan Lane. My God.
Yeah. Although I will tell people all the time, one does want a splash of color. So, yeah.
I broke the toast.
I pierced the toast.
Like, honestly, I think my most extreme me is Nathan Lane in that movie.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think this is anybody's defining role, but I think everyone in it is really good. And it's where I first saw a lot of these people. You know?
Okay.
So, like, it's probably where I first saw Forrest Whitaker. It's possible I saw Color of Money first, but I don't think so. I saw them both the same way, Showtime movies.
Yeah.
Because they were rated R, and I would not have been allowed to see them, but we taped them and I saw them. So,
well done.
I know, right? I'm a rebel. You got anything for what else?
No, I don't think I do. I don't know. I was so focused in this film, it was kind of hard for me to take notes other than like, just another area that I want to study more in history.
Mm-hmm.
You know, another country I would like to learn more about.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. What is this the ESTO for you?
Feels wrong to say it, but it's the funniest Vietnam movie. Like,
It's pretty funny.
it's
Although I will say there are parts of the first half of Full Metal Jacket that are quite funny.
I'm gonna say Robin Williams is the nose is the horse's nose in that race.
I think so. Yeah. I think this might be the saddest comedy.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like it's sort of both things. You know, it's the funniest Vietnam War movie and also maybe like the saddest comedy I've ever seen.
I don't know. There are definitely some comedies in recent years that I'm like, that's not a comedy, Academy. You're just trying to fit in. It's
but this is actually a comedy. Like
no, this is actually a comedy. So
yeah,
that's
not just something shoved in the wrong category.
Fair.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. I like this movie, but I don't know when I'll watch it again. You know, like this, I've probably seen this movie a dozen times at this point.
Yeah.
But
it's on PBS.
Yeah. But it's probably one that I'm okay to leave, you know?
Yeah.
I just talking about it, I'd rather go back and watch The Fisher King.
Yeah, I'll have to look for that one because we like the weird stuff. So
Yeah, maybe we'll find a reason to watch it for this. Boy, the Fisher King would be an interesting conversation.
okay.
It's also there's also a disc jockey in it. The dude's in it. Yeah, that movie's good. It's and there's a gypsy scene.
As in a burlesque.
No, as in there's a bit in the movie where it's a contrivance to meet a girl,
Oh,
and so they pretend that she won a pass to like free videos for a year from a local video store,
hmm.
and Michael Jeter is the actor, and he comes in to announce to her at her like place of business or whatever that she's won this prize, and he sings "Everything's Coming Up, Lydia," and everything's coming up videos because she wins all these free videos. It's a great scene. It's so funny. He's everything's coming up videos.
Oh God.
Yeah, it's pretty great. Um, it's very silly. Anyway, so join us here. Oh fuck me! You know what?
Tell me.
Because there's a radio disc jockey, we could watch it next week.
Oh, let's do it.
Okay. All
Two
right.
weeks of Robin Williams.
2 weeks of Robin Williams. Uh boy, it is a dark, weird movie. Not a comedy, FYI, not a comedy.
Okay.
So don't go into it thinking it's going to be hilarious, because it's not hilarious.
Damn.
It's dark
Okay.
and twisted and weird. All right, so join us here next week, Cheesemeisters, on Wednesday when we watch season 4, episode 5, Radio Days. And apparently next week, next Friday, join us here on the After Dark when we watch The Fisher King.
Holy shit.
I'm kind of excited about watching The Fisher King. This movie's
Good.
I think it's gonna. It. I don't know. It's just so Terry Gilliam that it might break your brain a little bit, but like in an interesting way where it's like fun to talk about.
You know what? It's already broken in awful ways, so broken for a weird thing would be nice. It'd be a nice shift.
Yeah, and there's some rough stuff at the beginning of this movie. Tragedy.
Oh God. Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Yep.
Distract me from my own.
But it is a good movie, and it's got some. It's got a lot going on. So anyway, join us here for that next week, Cheesemeister. Let's see how that goes. But until then,
Cheers.
cheers.